Boost for Nelson to come back from that far behind has also got to be very discouraging for Wirnsberger.
There you see Dave Nelson with Coach Steve Nelson of Sun Prairie as they administered to that injury, and official Wallace Dunn and Ferd Kogis check the scorer's table to make sure we're ready to go. Now our first 1 minute overtime period at 145 pounds in Class A, and we'll bring you up to date in that Class B match. It was Randy Forseth of River Valley, Rick Lavinger's former coaching position there, winning the title over Gary Yakish of Bloomer at 145 pounds in Class B. 42 seconds to go. First overtime period, the first of three 60-second overtime periods in this A 145-pound match. And again, it appears that Wirnsberger here has the upper hand. He certainly appears to be the stronger of the two in the first regulation period.
He's definitely been the aggressor. He's in on a nice deep double leg there. He finished up for his 2 points. He wasted no time coming across the center of the circle. Definitely been the aggressor. His first shot of the single leg was countered successfully by Nelson. He came right back at him. Nelson is going to have to do it on the mat with him, as he did in the third period. Wirnsberger is definitely better on his feet from what we've seen so far.
In the final seconds of the first overtime period, this is the third overtime match of the championships. And Wirnsberger with 2 points in that first overtime period as official Ferd Kogis of Elkhorn makes the flip. And the decision will go to Nelson. So in that referee's position, he will choose to be in the up position, certainly with a bit of an advantage there as he trails now by 2. Nelson making his first state tournament appearance, coming in at 30-1 on the season for Coach Steve Nelson. And John Wirnsberger, coached by his father, Russ Wirnsberger, at Washington High. He comes in unbeaten from Washington High in Two Rivers at 30-0.
Nelson is where he wants to be right now. That's his forte on top there. He's an excellent mat wrestler. He has the grapevine in. He's working that arm. He wants to go into what we call a guillotine if he can. He wants to get that arm over the back of his head and try and pick up back points. Wirnsberger's just been warned for stalling. The referee wants him to come to his base, get out of there if he can, but that's a very difficult thing to do when your legs are tied up. It's very difficult. They just called a stalemate there. They're saying nothing's happening. It was a good call. Top man had him tied up, controlled. It wasn't getting him tipped. They break him and start him over in the referee's position.
Now John Wirnsberger from Washington High School in Two Rivers says that one of his ambitions is to be an NCAA champion, a la Rick Lavinger. So he's trying to go up the ladder toward that with the state championship here at 145 pounds in Class A, and with 28 seconds remaining in the second overtime period. He has scored the first 2 points of the overtime periods, and Nelson is trying to turn him over now in the final moments of the period 2.
Nelson's being very hard on him on top. Nelson is showing his superiority on the mat, and that last period is going to be on the mat too. Now, I would assume that Nelson is just as capable when he's underneath as he is on top. He's very good with his legs. This match is far from over.
Ferd Kogis says we have another stalemate, so
you'll see that a lot when wrestlers use their legs. The legs can dominate and tie up a wrestler to the point where just absolutely nothing will happen. The referees don't let that go for long. They want action. They'll break you and start you over.
And time ticks off in the second overtime period with Wirnsberger clinging to a 2-0 lead. The score was 5-5 after regulation, and again we'll point out that Wirnsberger really had the upper hand, save for about 40 seconds of the entire match. He was in command and had a 5-1 lead before Nelson rallied, descended into overtime. And Nelson now in that referee's position, trying for the reversal, trying to spin away from Wirnsberger in our Class A 145-pound match. And we've got a big match coming up in just a moment when John Nelson from Stoughton will try and keep Laverne Pieper's Stoughton Club in contention for the Class A team championship.
We have an injury here, I believe. They're going to stop this. Looks to me like Nelson's hurt. It's his ankle again.
The match had been stopped at one occasion a bit earlier when Nelson had the same ankle problem.
And remember, scored 4 points
That's
immediately.
Right. In the third period of regulation, they had the injury problem that came back and sent it into overtime.
That will often happen. It breaks some momentum. It gives you a chance to regroup, and that more often than not, you'll see that happen when they go to the corners.
Class A, 145 pounds. Third overtime period. 41 seconds remain.
I'm looking for Nelson to come out hard. Wirnsberger's got to be doing something on top, though. He's been warned for stalling. They're not going to let him hang back and ride him out. Nelson's facing him. He's going to need 2 points here. He's got his escape. Okay. He takes him down. He's a state champion. It's that simple. He's going to be coming after him hard. Wirnsberger with his back to the edge. And Wirnsberger has to be very careful now. He has to step to the center and wrestle, or he's going to be nailed for stalling.
20 seconds remain. Wirnsberger leads it.
Smartest thing you can do, get in on those legs, attack him. Don't stand around and wait to see what Nelson's got to show you. Nelson's got it. He's got it. He's got it. That's 2. 3-2, Nelson. It's all over. 3 seconds.
And what a dramatic comeback by Dave Nelson of Sun Prairie.
He doesn't even believe it.
And now we're going to have another stoppage of action here with 1 second to go on the clock. I believe the official is going to check the time remaining as we see it again. They go to the edge of the mat. Ferd Kogis signals the takedown. The scoreboard reads 4-2 as they correct either the time or the score here, Rick, with 1 second to go on the clock. I believe it should be 3-2.
Yeah, I think there was a technical violation. The referee signaled. It may have came from the coach's bench. That's it. Nelson's the state champion. And
Nelson wins it after being down 5-1 in the third period of regulation. A bad ankle bothering him. Nelson rallied to send the match into overtime. Saw Wirnsberger score the first 2 points, and Nelson with a very gutsy come from behind state championship at 145 pounds in overtime, 4-2 over John Wirnsberger of Two Rivers. Quite a match here on mat 2. Marshall?
We're all set for the awards in the 145-pound class. The runner-up in the Class C competition, Bob Perch of Barneveld. And the champion, Terry Manning of Ithaca. That was the match that you saw here on television. On the middle mat in the Class B competition, the runner-up, Gary Acacia of Bloomer. And the champion, Randy Forsyth of River Valley. Randy finishes 25-4. And the Class A runner-up, John Wirnsberger of Two Rivers. The winner, Dave Nelson of Sun Prairie, the champion at 145 pounds in the Class A competition. Well, the action has been excellent so far tonight. I really have to admit that I had my doubts.